Daniel Negreanu was looking down at pocket sevens. Ivey, always looking to apply pressure and dictate the pace, opens the action to 125,000 holding 9-8 offsuit. It is a highly speculative, loose open, relying entirely on post-flop skill. Instead of just calling to set mine, Negreanu decides to turn up the heat, executing a massive 3-bet. He wants to define Ivey's range immediately and push out the marginal holdings. However, Ivey is not easily intimidated. The flop falls a texture that guarantees a massive collision. Acting first, Negreanu faces a critical strategic decision. He could lead out to build the pot, but instead, he opts for a deceptive check. He is setting a trap, hoping Ivey will automatically fire a continuation bet with air or a weak king. Ivey, however, demonstrates his elite table awareness. He exercises perfect pot control and checks right back. The turn brings the 5, a card that drastically shifts the psychological landscape of the hand. While it changes nothing about Negreanu's commanding set, it improves Ivey's straight draw, needing a 6 to go along with his middle pair.
I'm all in.
Phil shoves!
I call.
And Daniel calls!
Set.
Set's good. This could be it!
Oh, I win. No. Oh, no, you need a 6. Never mind.
Yeah.
I didn't see that part. But I'm in good shape right now. I'm ahead.
Best shape of his life.
You never know.
Yeah.
Phil needs a 6.
Don't do it to us. We got some drinking to do.
4 cards Ivey can hit. Something tells me Team Ivey's not exactly worried where their next meal's coming from.
It's okay, he'll be fine. Maybe he's in good hands.
Doesn't look like their first rodeo.
You don't want to win like that anyway, catching a 6. Huh? You don't care, right? Just however it happens? That would be dirty. He won't. He doesn't want to win that way. He'd throw it back. If a 6 comes, he'd just throw it back.
I sure would.
He'd be like, you know what? No, I don't want it. I can't win like that. Bad for my reputation.
The river card is a 10. Daniel takes it down.
Applause for both of these fantastic.
1-0. Whoa!
Hey, Phil, the bad news is you got to sweep that up.
Look at this.
Read the fine print, brother.
Yay!
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at pocket 10s. The dynamic here is steeped in decades of mutual history and high-stakes tournament pressure. Negreanu opens the action with a standard bet, but little does he know he actually bet more than he wanted to.
84. Ready?
Holy misclicks.
The small baller accidentally decided to play with a bigger ball. Yep.
Seidel has a crucial decision to make regarding his bet sizing. He could simply shove all in, protecting his hand and guaranteeing a decent increase to his stack. Instead, he opts for a much more sinister, value-oriented line.
Come on.
Whoops. Ay-ya.
I call.
Seidel obviously calls.
Your misclick got me.
Oh, sick. Sick. That's kind of sick if you stick with tens too.
I know, right? Then I had to then it forced me to get a little crazier.
Yeah, because
So, that'd be good.
Seidel is the player at risk, but Negreanu is a huge underdog here. Even bigger dog now. Now just one chance. Just 5% for the double up. A 10 on the river!
You were right. Thanks, Tobias. I run good. I got him covered.
Gross.
All right, good luck, everyone.
Negreanu is looking down on pocket deuces. Luca opens to 30K with pocket 9s, a bread-and-butter early raise that covers a wide band of low and middling boards and pressures the offsuit broadways behind him. The hand wants callers who show up with overcards and then miss. It also doesn't mind playing smaller pots where it can value bet cleanly across safe runouts. Negreanu flat calls with pocket deuces. Small pairs love this configuration. He has position to control price. Stacks are deep enough to realize implied odds, and keeping it single raise preserves all the set and wheel runouts that print against one pair. Turning deuces into a 3-bet would just funnel Luca into strong overpairs and invite a 4-bet. Calling keeps the deck wide and the story flexible. The flop comes low and connected, exactly the texture where the caller can credibly have all the sets and the occasional 4-2 or 6-5. Luca makes the routine range C-bet for 28K. On this board, the small size folds out pure air, taxes random overcards like ace-queen, and keeps worse-made hands honest without bloating the pot or polarizing his range. Negreanu's raise to 95K from this configuration is perfectly believable. He's repping sets, 2 pair like 6-5 suited, and some straights. With deuces, he isn't spinning it. He holds a live gutter to the wheel plus 2 cleanouts to a set, so he's applying pressure with real equity while seizing the narrative. The sizing forces overpairs and top pairs to define themselves now, rather than getting a cheap turn that could punish them. Luca's call protects his overpairs and some slow plays, but it also hands tempo to Negreanu and nudges Luca toward a bluff catch posture on a lot of turns. He's inviting Negreanu to keep telling the story and hoping to catch him on a bad card. The turn pairs the 3 and Luca checks. It's a tricky card for both players. It slightly trims the number of set combos. Negreanu repped on the flop, while making overpairs feel a touch safer against bluffs and draws. Negreanu checks back. That's the disciplined pivot. Firing again would polarize on a card that dulls his set story and invites stubborn calls from exactly the hands he wants to move on the river. The river is the 8 of clubs, and Luca checks a third time. After flop pressure and turn control, that third check leaves his range heavy on single pair hands that hate facing a big ask.
Daniel bets ridiculously big, 400k. Wow. And Luca folds.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 6-5 offsuit, but he's up against his nemesis of 20 years, Phil Ivey, who's holding King-Jack suited. Ivey raises to 75,000. Most players would probably fold in Daniel's spot.
No choice, can't fold it. Gotta see a flop in the big blind.
There's the call. So it's Daniel versus Phil.
Ivey is 64% favorite for now, but the flop comes 8-6-6 and Negreanu hits trips.
Check.
I don't see Phil falling for this.
Phil checks too. I don't know how, but he can somehow feel Daniel is strong here.
A king on the turn.
Now I see him falling for it a little.
Negreanu wants Phil second-guessing every assumption. Wants him trapped between is he bluffing and is he setting me up? What looks like hesitation is actually misdirection. This is less about cards, more about control.
Daniel leads. Phil now with top pair.
Even if you think Daniel has a 6, you can't just go folding top pair.
Negreanu's sizing here leaves Ivey about 3.5 to 1 on a call. And with top pair, that's usually a no-brainer. But what Daniel's really doing here is laying the groundwork for the river. He's planting the seed that says, if you call now, you're going to have to call big later. This is psychological compounding. Pressure applied in stages. Daniel is hoping that Phil did indeed hit that king on the turn, and he's going to try to make him sweat like a maniac.
He calls. The river is a jack.
Wow, Daniel is running better than Prefontaine.
Daniel value bets his trips. Phil forced to call with top 2.
Nope.
So obvious you have a 6. Got 350.
Trip 6s, Phil shows King Jack for top 2. Daniel's trip 6s takes 5.
Good call, good call. Good thing you didn't raise. That was smart. You know what you're doing.
Daniel Negreanu is holding Queen Jack offsuit. He opens to $2,500. That's a bread-and-butter late position open, dominates the Queen 10 and Jack 10 holdings that call too often, has blockers to 3 bets, and plays cleanly post-flop in position. 3 callers flatten with wide, capped ranges, offsuit broadways, suited aces, suited connectors, paired high card textures heavily favor the pre-flop raiser because he has all the strong Queen X and slow-played overpairs. Many callers arrive with 8x, pocket pairs, floats, or the diamond backdoors. Negreanu continuation bets $6,000 into a multi-way field, small sizing that targets folds from ace-high and underpairs while keeping dominated Queen X and diamond draws in. When Hashem continues, his range is mostly Queen X, pocket pairs stubbornly peeling, and diamond hands. Ace-high floats with backdoor equity also show up. The board double pairs, which is a dream card for the raiser's Queen X. Negreanu's value density jumps because any queen now makes a full house, and his bluffs retain good fold equity against stubborn pocket pairs and busted backdoors. He bets $12,000, again a pressure, but keep worse in sizing. Given action, Hashem is rarely trapping queens. He's weighted to diamonds, ace-high floats, and the occasional pocket pair praying for a river miracle. That river improves a lot of Hashem's floats to 1 pair of aces, but it doesn't dent Negreanu's nut edge. Queens still bowed up, 8s don't exist for Hashem often, and missed diamonds remain abundant. After Hashem checks the 3rd time, Negreanu fires $27,000 for clear value.
As we young internet kids say, you're polarized. Isn't that right, Jose?
Yeah.
Polarized.
Polarized.
You haven't fuffled. Show me one.
Okay.
Daniel shows the jack.
I fold.
Oh, damn it.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on King-Queen offsuit. The table is four-way after Tony G opens, and Viffer, Negreanu, and Scott Seaver all come along. That matters because equities flatten in multi-way pots. Single pair hands lose value while nutted, and draw heavy holdings gain. Tony G's range from early position in this lineup still contains suited connectors.
This is room for everyone to keep improving.
I mean, the way you guys all play, there's certainly tons of room.
Yeah.
Scott calls.
I'm going to go with an old Hellmuth trick. Watch this, gentlemen. Check in the dark. How do you fade that? Seriously. Check in the dark. I don't even want to see what's coming.
Checking through is revealing. On this texture, the pre-flop raiser has a lot of one pair and gut shot combinations that dislike being raised by three players.
See how that worked? Because if I wouldn't have done that, they would have been more scared. My turn, right?
Daniel's still open-ended.
Did you qualify?
Yes. I've qualified pretty comfortably at this point. Question is, how much do I want to put in there?
You checked.
No, I'm not. I'm not, for sure.
He's not checking?
Yeah. If you're folding any bet, you can just do that now. I'm going to put in...
The turn is the 7 of spades, a huge card for Tony G's side of the range, and a bad one for capped checkbacks. Negreanu leads $3,600 into the field, a small sizing that targets folds from the Broadway airballs, and denies equity to Queen 9, 9-8, and the club draws. Scott's call with Queen Jack keeps dominated queens in, but the raise from Tony G to $14,000 is the pivotal data point. After a street of passivity, that raise is heavily weighted to value.
If I win the pot, I'll give you your money back.
Negreanu's call with King-Queen looks ambitious only if you ignore blocker logic. He removes the queen that completes Tony G's higher straight and retains outs to the ace or 9 to make his own. Scott correctly recognizes he's in kicker jail and releases.
Wow, that was a big sweat.
Took a long time. That speech really got him.
He made a big laydown just now.
The river is the 9 of diamonds. Range-wise, it's a dagger for Tony G. His made straight from the turn remains a straight, but Negreanu's King-Queen now upgrades to the higher straight. When Negreanu fires $35,000, the story is polarized between exactly that high straight and bluffs that bricked clubs or random Queen X that tried to push Tony G off a one-pair hand.
Are you also offering my 4,800 back if you...
Tony calls and Daniel wins a $100,000 pot.
I had the nuts on the turn. Wow, well done.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on Jack 9 suited. He opens to $3,000 on the button, a classic small ball steal that also invites dominated jacks and queens to continue. Doyle Brunson flat calls in the small blind with Queen Jack suited, a smooth defend that keeps Negreanu's range wide and retains post-flop maneuverability.
Well, there's a lot of money out there, baby. A lot of money out there.
Go and get you some.
Troy Wiggins completes in the big blind with pocket fours for set value, and the stage is set. Brunson, holding top pair with a strong kicker, declines to bet into two players on a coordinated texture because checking keeps Negreanu's bluffs alive and avoids building a pot where he could be outkicked or check raised by club draws. The paired board reduces semi-bluffs, and Doyle seizes the lead for $8,000. From his seat, Negreanu's flop check capped him toward medium strength and draws, so Doyle's stab is designed to extract from worse jacks and to tax the clubs and queen-10 type gutters. Negreanu calls rather than raise. The flat keeps the pot manageable against a range that still contains ace-jack or king-jack, keeps Doyle's bluffs and thin value hands firing, and leverages position to make the final decision with maximum information. This river is a sneaky upgrade for Negreanu to two pair, while a large chunk of Doyle's range remains one pair of jacks. Doyle checks, signaling showdown mode rather than a polarized line. Negreanu now turns the knobs. His hand cleanly targets Queen Jack and King Jack, while very rarely running into a slow-played full house on this sequence.
Biggest hand I've had.
Daniel Negreanu is about to play 6 deuce suited. Phil Hellmuth opens to 800 with King 10 offsuit, the kind of loose early raise he uses to test the waters and try to play pots post-flop. Negreanu immediately leans on it, re-raising to 3,600. With 6-2 suited, this is not about raw card strength. It is about punishing Phil's wide open, isolating the weakest range at the table, and taking the betting lead in position.
Who lost the last pot?
Doyle Brunson cold calls with pocket jacks, a classic trap that keeps worse hands in and avoids turning his medium-high pair into a bluff catcher against a 4-bet. Getting the price and curious to navigate post-flop, Phil comes along. That is a very Negreanu result. His pre-flop 3-bet range contains plenty of big queens, overpairs, and high card backdoors, so checking back keeps his range wide and ambiguous while realizing equity with his suited wheel trash. It also invites Phil to fire turns from out of position and forces Doyle to reveal how comfortable he is with jacks on a coordinated board. When Negreanu declines to c-bet, he preserves the option to attack later streets if either opponent betrays weakness with sizing or timing. The turn is the 4 of spades, a deceptively important card. It adds real backdoor flush pressure while also nudging straight grids like 3-6 into view. Phil leads 7,000 into about 19,000, a classic mid-sizing that tries to win the pot before the board becomes scarier. Against Daniel, that size usually reads as 1 pair or air rather than a queen or better that wants protection and volume. Daniel just calls. He is not chasing. He is keeping Phil's bluffs alive, protecting his own strong hands that would play this way, slow-played queens and some spade floats, and setting up maximum leverage on rivers that amp up the story. Doyle, now sandwiched in hating life with jacks, lets it go. The river is the 2 of spades, completing the backdoor spade flush and putting 4 to a wheel in the picture. It is a nightmare card for capped 1-pair holdings. Phil drops a 6,000 block bet, a telltale sizing that asks for a cheap showdown and implicitly admits he does not love his hand. Daniel pounces and raises to 46,000. What does he represent? From Phil's seat, it is coherent for Daniel to have exactly the hands his line preserved, 2 spades that checked flop multi-way, called the turn lead, and now raise for value, or a slow-played queen with a spade that upgrades from bluff catcher to thin value on a bet-blocked river.
Speech time. It's gotta come.
He might have like 6-9 offsuit. It's Daniel. Good bet.
And Phil lays it down.
Finally got there. Took a while, but
6-9.
I had you.
He nailed it. Look at that. That's sick. That's not gonna look good on TV.
Yeah, whatever that is, it's not gonna look good.
Whatever it was.
That's gonna be bad for a profile, unfortunately.